Okay. Again, good morning. So our lecture for this morning is on analyzing and interpreting data in mixed methods. If you recall, last lecture, we talked about data collection techniques, and we um, discussed how we can synchronize our data collection techniques based on the research design that we wanted to use or we intend to use in our dissertation projects. And it's very important also to remember that the kind of method, or the kind of design that we intend to use in our study should always be anchored on the research problem. Because at the end of the day, it's the problem that determines the method or the design, not the other way around. No, although this course is is about designs, but we have to remember that it's the research question that determines the design. So ultimately, when we try to analyze and interpret data in our dissertation projects, we would always yield and go back to our research questions. More nang later, when we look at techniques in analyzing and interpreting our results, we would always go back to the intent of our research, the main purpose or the main goal of the research. Okay, so this lecture will revolve around first, we review quickly the procedures for quantity and quality data analysis. And then we talk about mixed methods data analysis. So how do we um, analyze our mixed methods using convergent, explanatory, exploratory, project evaluation, experimental design, case analysis, and even social justice lens. And then we look at how we integrate, how do we present our data in a way that we are able to integrate quantity and quality? Because we mentioned many times in our previous lectures that it's not the mixed methods study unless there is quote unquote mixing of not just results but from problem statement until your conclusion. So therefore, we'll talk about techniques later, how to integrate our quantity and quality data. And then finally, we talk about the things that we have to ensure, the questions we have to answer, so that we can strengthen and increase the validity and scientific rigor of our research project. Okay, to begin, recall that when we do quantity or quality data analysis, uh, these are the major steps that we follow. Diba? First, we begin with our data analysis. We prepare our data for analysis. Then we explore general trends in our data. And then we analyze our data. We present our data in something in a visual manner so that it can easily be understandable by our audience. And then we write the interpretation, and finally we do some validation of our data and results. So for preparation of our data, for quantity and quality, they're quite similar. No? For quantity, a very important thing you have to do is you make sure that you're able to convert your raw data into something that is usable in your analysis. So you have to go back to your intended stat, no? So for example, this is the kind of stat that you will be using. So how do we how do we transform our data so that it would be statable, quote unquote? It can be run by your statistics. So for example, you plan on using chi-square and your data is nominal data. It's a nominal variable. So you have to make sure that you need to convert it into um, uh, a categorical variable. So, for example, you wanted to do some correlation, for example, with religion as to their grit, for example. So religion is a nominal data. So you have to convert it into a categorical data, like one for Roman Catholic, two for Islam, three for it's about Christian, and so on, so that you can perform probably a chi-square or an appropriate statistics. So we call that as scoring. Diba? We do scoring. Or for example, you're doing Likert scale, so you have to score it. The next is data cleaning. No? So you have to examine entries in your in your data sheet, no, if there are missing or incomplete entries. So often when we do, for example, survey kind of data, and it's a paper and pen test, there are times that your respondents do not are not able to answer the questionnaire completely. So what do you do? What are techniques you can employ to address that kind of issue? Sige ba, how about itong mga nag-master's or master's thesis man mo tanan? Sige. What were your experience?
Sir,
Yes, Sir Michael.
kuan sir kanang fill-inan sir og date number nga katong majority gani sir.
Okay, that's an
Kung say
interesting
majority
response.
sa kana nga
So, pul-anan. Okay, that is the assumption nga the it was just an honest mistake of the respondent. Nga wala niya nansiran. Okay, that's good. Sige, about the others. What are your experience?
Sir, usually sir, kung like it's career, kay katong middle bitaw sir, like undecided, kung 5 point
Okay.
like your skill, ginabutangan og 3. Usually sir.
Three. Okay. Muna yung experience. Sige. How about the others? Nay blanco. Incomplete response.
Pero, pag sir, ang isa gyud siya sir, si tanggalon gid siya sir bay.
Okay.
Tanggalon ang
Sige.
response sa bata gyud.
So, Sir Lester said, yeah, we delete. So many papers you would see that incomplete incomplete submissions are considered as mortality. Diba? For example, you're doing a survey and incomplete questions. Okay, if you get the mean, for example, if it's a Likert scale and you get the mean, empty items would shift the mean, diba? Towards higher or lower, for example. So to avoid that validity problem, many researchers would often remove the respondent and consider them as mortality. Yes, maningon ni Ma'am Princess, no? But the problem is, what if you have very few sample size? You have a small sample size, and that would also affect the inferential power of your study or your result. Okay, imong data has already met the assumptions for the statistics, but if you remove kato siya isa ka respondent, then that would affect it would no longer meet the assumptions of the statistics. So what would you do? So you are all correct, no? There are many papers citing deletion, you remove. There are also papers that katong ingon ni Sir Michael nga we input the data. The most important lang is you are able to justify it in the data gathering or in the statistical analysis component of your paper. You have to explain what you did and what is the reason for doing that. If you can also cite another paper doing that, then that would help strengthen your argument. So okay ra to, no? Okay ra to siya. Katong gipang mention nila. Ang uban, ang ginabuhat is dili, I don't know if sakto akong pagsabot sa imong answer, Lester, but ang uban ang ilang ginabuhat is they just get the mean of that variable, and mo dito ang ilang i-respond sa mo to ilang ibutang sa empty na item para dili niya maapektuhan ang mean nga na ilang ginabuhat. So for example, question number one, paano mo ang mean sa question number one, mo din ang response ni ni respondent number three para dili niya maapektuhan ang tibuok data. Okay? Oo, pwede na
Yes,
siya.
sir, pwede ko mag-share ana sir kay ako'y gwapo kaya nang experience sir sa USTP sa akong masters.
Sige, go.
Ang nahitabo sir was kanang dili man musugot gid si Ma'am Rositan og si Doc Dennis Robles nga dili mag-submit labi na kay kung math gid ka dapat ikaw ra magid ang maghimo sa imong statistics, di man ka pwede magkuwag statistician kay di man gid sila musugot. So, ang nahitabo
Mm.
was ipasabit na sa akong result sa SPSS. So sa kangabagtik sa ilang mga mata nagis sila nakita nga isa ka data sir, so wala di man gid ako madinay. Ang nahitabo sir was like this, ang pagpadag mo sa naman to yung mga assumptions kung magamit ka
Mm.
og ANOVAs. So karon
Yeah.
sir kay si Ma'am Dr. Luna nagsuggest ako Edmundo i-delete ni siya because ang bata wala nagtarong og answer. So based on their ano sir sa saktong taon nang namino ko sila matubag gipa-delete gid ni experience naman gid kay si Ma'am Luna. So gipa-delete niya ang bata kanamo ko Likert skill sir nga
Mm.
preference interest sa bata ang mong measure daw bi karon sir kay pag-run amo sir kay dili naman siya ano sir dili naman homogeneous na violate naman ang assumption so nagproblema na pod si mo kay mga expert ba gisa na nga atong mga panelists dahil so nagproblema na pod mi gipadugang gid ko nila og instead og gi-delete to siya nga bata sir pero kay sa pre-survey pa man to gipadugang gid ko nila 10 kabog nga respondents sir para nga mabalik ang homogeneity sa data.
Yeah, that is advisable if you can still go back to your respondents. So, katatong ginag-discuss ka ganina is kanang wala na kayo opportunity to go back ba. Oo. So, maayo na. Oh, that would be good. Munang, it would be nice if you have a large sample size at the very beginning, probably 40 to 50% sample size, para dili kay ka ma-worry pag-abot nimo sa data analysis if there is mortality. Especially kana bitong okay ra ng survey, kaya daghan mo gina sila. Kana bitong mag-experimental ka na kay pre-test o post-test, na ay nag-absent sa pre-test, wala sila ka-answer. Oh. Pag humanap po sa imong intervention na pa wala nag-answer sa post-test. Oo, so maayog yun. Oh. Sakto nang gingon ni Ma'am Princess. It'd be good if you have an additional para ma-strengthen. So kato kung gihatag nga example kaganina is what if wala na kay opportunity to go back. Mo na gid na sila. So moto techniques that you can do, um, one is remove the participant if it would not affect the assumptions of the test. Second, you can get the mean of that item and then put it there so that it would not affect the overall, it would not affect the general mean. No, that's those are the things you can do. Napayoban, I don't know if you're familiar, they do kanang bootstrapping, no? They do bootstrapping. Familiar mo ng bootstrapping? Kadungog na mo na. Wala pa mo kadungog. Sige, inyo ng assignment. So there are statistical techniques we call bootstrapping. No, your SPSS can do bootstrapping. Your Minitab can also do bootstrapping, where it generates kanang random um, participants, random data based from your participants. So madugangan imong participants. So you can generate up to 1,000 participants, 2,000 participants. We call that bootstrapping. Oh, and it's often used in mga inferential studies, but kung gusto ka generalizable dili pwede ra katong tinuod gid nga sample, but if kulang yun imong namong usahay nga imong study kay for example lang ni ha, teachers experiencing AIDS for example, so buta to gamay ra gid kay na sila, so dili ma-meet ang assumption sa structural equation modeling kay buta to 200 ang requirements ni SEM nya imong part imong na survey kay 20 ra ka buok, so pwede to nimo siya i-bootstrap. Oo. Okay? So na yung mga ingana. Next is also creating special variables. So many mga special variables. These are variables that come from your existing variables, like nakay major variable, which is for example creativity. Yes, si creativity kaya siya yung mga sub-variables. And these sub-variables are just the mean of different items. Like for example, sa may creativity, basta na to, generalization is a sub-variable of creativity. So you get the mean of items 1, 5, 7, and 12. And that's your special variable for uh sige to, for ato nga sub-variable for creativity, generalization, no, tingnan. And then very importantly, kaning gyud kalimtan sa mga estudyante is they forget to make a code book. So may tabuhat, kaya kay sila stat ilang nabuhat, they have arrived to the result that they intend to. Ang naitabo, nalimot sila unsay meaning. Kay wala sila nag-take down, wala sila nila gi-take note kung unsa tong mga meaning adto nga mga variables. Like for example sa katong religion akong gihatag nga example ka ganina, wala ka nag-note kinsa ang one, si Roman Catholic ba or si Islam. Ya paabot mo sa analysis, nakita nimo nga higher si one compared to two, di nakakasabot sa may meaning ani because you did not prepare a code book. So you have to make sure to make a code book. And this is not just for only for quantity but also for quali. Sa quali mag-analyze, highlight sa mga text niya. Nalimot din sa gali meaning ng yellow, sa gali meaning ng blue, o sa ni siya nga code for. No, you have to make a code book for that. Familiar mo aning inverted items?
Yes, sir.
These are items that are constructed negatively, no? And we have to use them sparingly in our Likert scales. Kay sa pod, kung daga na kaayo
Hassle kayo usahay, sir.
Ha?
Usahay, sir, kung di nyo mabantiyan, sir, hassle kayo or pag-analyze kay
Oo,
mabali mo ang
tinuod.
point system.
Oo. Ingan, ako isa ka master sa advising nga. Ito na namo nakita. Ako wala ko nag-mind kay alam itong trust. Ako mugod kay dili kay ko except sa undergrad pag sa master's ug doctoral students kanang ilang gina-write up di kay ko ga-change significantly because I want their language, I want their flavor to be felt sa ilang write-ups. Dili bitaw ko nang ako ang sinulatan. Mo di kay ko ga-change so nagsalig na kay ko sa estudyante pag submit na mo for publication, it was a top journal. Nabantayan sa reviewer nga ngano daw ubos kayo ang mean ba ingon din sa reviewer probably because wala na reverse score katong mga inverted items, so you have to be very careful with that, no? Te pasabot ang reverse scoring, so oo, naaday ko nag-overthink. So na no, so I'm happy you're familiar. Okay, for quali, we have to transcribe the text from interviews and observations, and it is preferred that it is verbatim. It's very important, no, kanabitang mga nindot po na siya mabutang sa atong transcript because that provides context. For example, kung wala na siyang say tawag ala na, mga wala nang mga fillers, we would not kanabitang be able to identify if the participants is, for example, having or kind of anxious in responding, they're excited, they're happy, they are, ano sa ba? No, they are nervous. Because that could also help in understanding and explaining your results later. So, munang often it is encouraged that we transcribe the text verbatimly. Masin mga katawa, no? Makatabang na siya sa atong findings. And you have to check also for accuracy and format for easy analysis. So you have to imagine already ahead you have to put the end in mind already. Kung, sama na ko ni pag-analyze sa quali, am I gonna use kanang in vivo, I'm gonna use some other qualitative softwares or pareho mo sa ako nga sa Microsoft Word ra. Di ba? Ako sa Microsoft Word ako mag-analyze og quali, mag-highlight ako, then ibalin din ako sa Excel para maka-sort ko. Nga na ako mag-coding, butaan ako pang numbers para maka-sort ko sa Excel. No? So depende sa inyo, sa inyong style. Okay? Sige, then next is we go to data exploration. So we inspect and conduct initial data analysis. We get the mean, we get the katong mga assumptions. We test the assumptions for quantity so that we will be able to decide whether the statistics we initially plan to use will be appropriate or not. No? So una, tanawon gyud nato if mo meet siya sa mga parametric uh, tests, and if not, then we shift towards non-parametric. But if you have the capability of going back to your sample, then of course you can add so that it would satisfy parametric assumptions. At the end of the day, you have more inferential power in your parametric tests compared to your non-parametric. For quality, on the other hand, what you do is you read the transcripts, reread, so that you be able to identify already, have an idea already of initial codes and themes that you can use later in the coding. Para sa'yo na dayon. Okay, sa first time pa mo magbasa. Okay? Sige. For data analysis, remember, the kind of test that you do must always reflect your research question. So if your research question is about comparison, so your stat should be about comparison. So I think these are just kanang just some reminders. Very importantly also, you can report practical results. Like for example, effect size, no? Familiar mo ng effect size? Kasi nakadungog na ng effect size.
Yes, sir. Magawa siya sa SPSS, sir.
Okay. Nanahin ko sa ibong response kay very general. Pero sa may pasabot ng effect size, Sir Edmond?
Ang Di na ako matag-details sir kay
Sige,
dugay-dugay na
pass.
to statistics pero lipas na ang panahon pero ang effect size gid sir kay the size of your ano man tali respondents.
It's the impact, no?
Yes.
For example, lugar,
Napo
nagtitest
siya
ka.
mga corrections sa effect size sir napo siya.
Yeah, for example, nagtitest ka. Nakita nimo nga na significant difference si group 1 o si pre-test and versus post-test, but it does not tell you how significant the difference is. It just tells you nga there is
That there is
difference.
a significant difference, yes.
Oo, nga naay difference, but it does not tell you how big the difference is. And the effect
Yes, that
size,
impact, yes sir.
that the effect size tells you that. So often kung mag-ANOVA ta, mag-t-test, mag-ANCOVA, kana sila, nindot na sila butangan og effect size because that determines what we call as the practical results. Kay tinuod man gyud nga na instances nga ang iyahang iyang p-value is 0.048. O, di ba? Significant difference mo na. Pero murag slim ba? Kung tanawin mo yung mean, the mean seems to be overlapping. Or the standard deviation, the 60% of the data overlaps. So nindot na effect size. Okay? Then quali, when we, balikon lang nako for quanti, klarohon gyud that the stat that you use is appropriate for the the study that you're doing. And second, when we present results, especially for statistics, we have to follow APA formats ha. Para di mo maglisod, like for example, ANOVA. So inyo lang din i-Google. ANOVA results, APA format. Tagaan na din mo na ni Google saan pag-present sa ANOVA results. Kay most often, pag submit na niyo for publication, reject na nilang dili follow APA format. No? As a general rule, we use APA format. Not just in kanang referencing. Kaya pag minutang APA, madumdum na to dayon kay ang referencing dili, apil na ang tables, apil ang figures, apil ang pagsulat sa results, na siya mga format. Yes, Sir Edmond.
Wala sir, sorry sir.
Oh, sorry, nag-unmute mo. I thought you were going to say something. Okay, for quali, the meat of the data analysis is coding. Munang always, inaingon nga, the quality of your qualitative research depends on the quality of the qualitative researcher. So how well the qualitative researcher is familiar with the literature, the more he is able to analyze the qualitative data better. Munang maigid kung gakwali mo, experience yun, magbasa yun og mga literature. But you get to understand the construct, you get to understand the variables, you get to understand the phenomenon, and so on, the theory. And then that would help you be able to develop codes and themes that are really anchored and based on the theory. Okay. Then presenting data analysis, no? So later in the last few parts of this lecture, we'll talk about techniques on how to represent our data for mixed methods. And to tell you honestly, many papers get rejected simply because of poor data presentation. Kabalo mo na. Kana bitaw mga top journals, makakita bitaw sila sa inyong paper nga inyong pag-present sa data kay statement, mean, standard deviation, statement, mean, standard, automatic na sila reject because you do not get a lot of kana bitang generalization from data presentations like that. Munang usahay, how we present the data is a reflection of the kind of analysis that we did in our paper. And kanang mga presenting data nga mean, standard deviation, mabaw na sila. And muna ako na experience, often ka-reject gid na sa mga top journals. It can be accepted in kanang low-level journals, but there, siya tama. Ako guilty ko na. I have several papers nga na lang, descriptive lang. Muna dili ka kadawat sa mga top journals. But
So,
later,
excuse me sir, kumubatin ko sir Toby sir kung advisor kay mo insist nga this is the way you present it because as a student naman gid gyapon tayo mga somehow little knowledge kay gabasa
yes,
pero pag abot sa advice mo
list
insist
ka ng
this is
advisor.
how way you present it. Oh, this is the word that you use. Apatay yapon ka. Kay
List done.
matuman ba gid ka. Sugod sa langit padulong sa yuta sir.
Inisda ng advisor. Bitaw mo nang karon ay you're very lucky because you have new sets of kanang professors who are young, who are dynamic, and who are open-minded. No, kung kabantay mo sa ato mga professors karon sa college, mga batanon mostly, and are well-read. Muna pinaka-importante. Sa una man good, wala internet, di sila kaila og inganaon pwede da inganaon. Ingana bitaw karon sa una mag-present og correlation ang pag-present kay lang, correlation table, di ba? Boring ka, nagkad kay number daw. Correlation table, ang katawa si Sir Michael. Oh, ba't karon ka? Na natay gitawag og mga heat map. Di ba? Familiar mo heat map? Di mo kailang heat map. Nanay mga heat map to represent correlation. So nanay mga ingana, no? And these are new data visualizations that allow us to understand our data much clearer, and we can generate more insights when we develop data visualizations like that. And we'll talk about more examples later. Kaya mga complicated ng mga data visualizations. Okay? Mga some examples I'll show you later. That's for quanti, and for quali often ang ginagamit nato is just a narrative description for quali, di ba? The quali findings are presented in a narrative format. Although if you are developing, for example, if it's a grounded theory, then you are developing a framework or a model from the quali, then you are able to generate diagrams, di ba, or frameworks for quali. Pwede nga na. Oo. Sige, interpreting results. So you have to go back to your research question and see how your findings answer your research question. It's also the same with your quali. You summarize the findings and discuss how the findings answer your research question. Then for validating our results, so there are many ways to validate our results. So for quanti, the validity of our results would generally come in the kind of instruments that we use. Diba? You have face validity, content validity, and construct validity. And there are many ways to ensure the validity of our test, diba? Na yung mga gapangbuhaton like face, for example, you ask a psychometrician to review your paper. Content validity, you do CVI. Familiar mo ng CVI? Kadugog naman ng CVI.
Gid sir, ang content validity ako na balansa kay
Oh,
asa
CVI,
questionnaire
it's Content
is
Validity Index mo ng CVI.
imong i-consult og experts mo triangulation pag yung tulo ka expert ang mo critic na.
Oh, that's what we do, no? So there are experts that we invite to rate
Yes po
our
sir.
questions, to rate the questions and see whether
Yes
they
sir.
agree or disagree.
Yes sir.
The level of agreement and disagreement, whether these questions are relevant to the construct that we are measuring, determines the content validity of our item. So what ang gitawag
I did that sir.
muna CVI. So we have an index 0, lowest, and 1 as the valid.
Yes.
Napunta gitawag nga construct validity where we do, for example, rash analysis, no, for a multiple choice test or somebody or EFA or CFA to help establish the construct validity of our test. And then we also have internal. There are threats to internal and external validity. So internal, so this refers to how we designed our test, because this affects, or our research, because this affects the cause and effect claim. So we have to ensure that the paper or the study has been organized in a rigorous manner so that we can attribute any cause and effect to those variables that you have identified. And then also you have also to achieve external validity, meaning does your study uh, satisfied all the assumptions so that it can be generalizable to a larger population. Ingana man na always atong consideration sa quanti. For quali, there's no such thing as kanang validity. In quali, we call it trustworthiness or authenticity. And there are many ways to establish trustworthiness or authenticity. One is member checking. Second is triangulation. And third is this confirming evidence. So often makita ninyo yung mga papers, they do member checking. What's member checking? Once you have analyzed your data, you have developed your themes and codes and categories and so on, you go back to the participants. You ask them if this is what they mean, what they meant. Because you have to remember that the qualitative researcher is a biased researcher. He has his own perceptions, he has his own understanding, and sagadagan sa yung utok that gives him the bias interpretation, and that's okay, and that's a good quality of a qualitative study. But at the end of the day, do we also ask is basin na sobraan na overthink ra ni qualitative study nga para bitaw nang kamantay mo ng katong mga English, no? We're asked by our English teacher, what does the color blue means? O, di ba? Color blue means kanang sadness. The author was sad. The author was experiencing a mental breakdown. Ano naman ginaingon sa itong mga English teacher? Bago ta kabalo, katong author, ayang imindi ay, the curtains was just blue, di ba? Kita ato nang gitagaan, we extremely added meanings to this mga symbolisms. Basta nga napod times nga na sa quali na sobrahan na kayo na to paghatag og meaning ang atong paper ay ang atong data na dili de ka na ang gimin sa atong kanang atong participants. That's why we have to go back to our participants and then ask them if this is what they meant when they said this and that. That's what we call member checking. Another way is to do triangulation. I mentioned this last time, no? When I participated in an experimental study looking at how games affected the enjoyment, the anxiety of participants. They do not only record behaviors, kanang behaviors. They do not only record the responses based on interview and FGD, but they also recorded the behavior of the students, the participants with a video recording. So they set up cameras in the classroom because that can provide you other evidences to support your claim. Like for example, you saw that there was anxiety. I mean, based in your analysis in your qualitative data, you saw that there was anxiety from the students, and that can be confirmed by the video recording. That's another way to check the authenticity. And next is we call this as the evidence of counter indication, meaning what are if they do not, for example, anxiety. When do we say a participant is anxious? When do we say a participant is not anxious? So, pwede, when you look at the other side, not anxious, and check whether he or she, the participant, satisfies it, and that is also a way to establish validity. And finally, we also do reliability in our qualitative study, and often it is based on coding. Mo nang kinahanglan maayog yun si researcher kaya at the end of the day magdepende gid siya ingon ko kanina, magdepende gid siya sa experience, sa knowledge sa researcher when doing qualitative study. Like usahay mo true iyang pag-code ba, like for example na siya keywords nga gagamiton. If wala to nga keyword kay dili niya i-categorize i-code this way niya parehara dito og meaning mga nga na bitaw. So you have to be very careful with that, and you can always go back to your initial transcript and see if you still generate the same codes after doing it the first time. Okay, for mixed methods data analysis, it's quite similar, no? We do analysis for quanti and quali, and then ang additional step lang is our integration. And this integration can happen simultaneously or at multiple points. So we look at how mixing of quanti and quali across quan results and qual findings and see where we can generate new insights. Insights in mixed methods is sometimes called inferences. So these are interpretations drawn from the separate quanti and quali, and when you combine them, we call them meta insights or meta inferences. Okay, so there are many ways how we can integrate mixed methods. Ato lang na silang muna history lang, so there's what we call as data transformation, typology development, extreme case analysis, and then data consolidation or merging. So when you say data transformation, very briefly, it just means that one result is converted to another result. Like for example, your quali will be converted into quanti. How do you do that? You can do by frequency. Like kapila man nagiingon sa respondent, kapila niya gabalik-balik, kapila niya diyan kataas niya giistorya. So you can convert that into time data and that becomes quantitative. Typology development is when analyzing one part of the study will help you lead to the second part. Like for example, in an exploratory design, when you measure creativity, you develop a scale. No? And it comes from a quali. So the analysis in the quali would help you develop a framework to analyze the quanti. Then extreme case analysis, you look at your respondents, you categorize them based on their quanti measurements. And then from the quanti measurement, you determine who to quali. Ito lang yung panglabian, okay? We'll have more detailed explanation later. Data reduction, we present them into their stats. Like instead of presenting the general results for all the scores, we just present whether there's significant difference or there's no difference and so on. Data display, naganta examples ani later, mga joint tables, joint figures, where we can combine quanti and quali in the data presentation. Data transformation, ito ng data correlation. Katakong yun kay ganina. You can convert your quali into quanti and do mga basic non-parametric tests like chi-square, mga nga na, Mann-Whitney U, Spearman rank correlation, and so on. Then data consolidation, data comparison, and then data integration. Okay. Sige, let's skip this. So, when we analyze and interpret our findings for an MMR, we always go back to the reason why we integrate. Remember, ang pinaka-importante nato nga concept na learn aning nga course is we do mixing, we do integration because we want to generate an insight that cannot be generated with quanti alone and quali alone. Mo na always atong goal. So we go back to the intent of the design. So if you're doing convergent mixed methods research design, you only have one goal there to confirm or disconfirm your result. Whether collecting two kinds of data will diverge or converge, whether you confirm or disconfirm. When you're doing explanatory design, you wanted to do quali because you wanted to explain some findings in the quanti, not all. Selected findings in the quanti. When you're doing exploratory design, your main intent there is to generate personal context which you can use to design the quantitative feature. You want to develop an instrument that is sensitive to the cultural needs of this group. That's why you do quali first. And then from the quali, you'll be able to identify the factors you will include in the quanti. Muna yung intent. So that means every time we present our data for an MMR, it should answer that intention. Because if it does not answer that intention, then you are missing the opportunity of doing an MMR. Okay, so again, I mentioned this earlier. For convergent, we wanted to compare two sets of data so that we will know whether there is a convergence or divergence. So what we can do is, one is you can obtain results quantitatively analyzing quant data, and then quali analyzing quali data. And then look for common concepts across both findings. Develop joint display tables or graphs. And then look at where they confirm, where they negate one another. And then very importantly, sayon lang mangita og convergence. Ang challenge if there's divergence. How do we explain? Like for example, in your quanti, you saw that students have high grit. But in your quali, you saw that they do not have grit at all. So is there convergence or divergence?
Divergence, sir.
There's divergence. Which do we believe more? The quanti or the quali? So, man, undang na lamig dissertation, sir, kaya di man pareha. Among findings sa quanti o quali. So, yeah, advance the info, although nani sa last few slides. We believe when we are confronted with that kind of problem in our study, one technique I can teach you is look at your methods. You go back to your design. Which methods do you trust most? Do you trust most the survey, which is a self-reported data? Or would you trust more the quali, where the qualitative, the interviewer or the facilitator is very experienced facilitator. He or she is very good at probing, or deep probing to the deep explanations of the students or the answers of our students. So pwede ta mo balik ana. Then you can just go back to you can go back to your results and explain. Yeah, you believe more the quali, and the probable reason for this divergence is this and this and that. Probably the respondents were hurry, gadali sila answer sa ilang questionnaires kaya ting paniudto na nagi-collect. Or they do not understand well since the questions were asked in English and their first language is not English and so on. Pwede nga na. But you have to, dili pwede nga, kana imong gamiton always. You have to have a strong justification why you believe one design compared to the other, especially if there is divergence. Okay, we look at the limitations of our methods. Sige, I hope that's clear. Another way to integrate for convergent is we do data transformation. This means we convert one data to another. And how do we do that? These are techniques, no, to transform qualitative data. Like for example, you can convert the theme within a sample by converting them into percentages. Pila man kabok nag-ingon ani nga theme, pila kabok na ingon ani, and so on. You can also do number of units of each theme, kapila ni giingon, and convert it to theme. You can also look at kaning percentage of people selecting or endorsing multiple themes. Then you can also look at the time, the length, and the number of behaviors per theme. Like for example, kung ko ganina, gitanaw ang behavior sa estudyante, kapila siya nagkuha sa cellphone, kapila siya ng langab, kapila siya ni katawa, because those are indication of kanang joy, those are indication of boredomness, and so on. So that can be converted into something quantifiable. But then again, when you do data transformation and when you do statistics, you are only limited to non-parametric tests, and then it has a poor inferential power. Another way to present, I'll show an example later. Dili day. Sorry. Joint display dito akong hatag example. This is the most common used in convergent. We call this as narrative discussion. I mentioned this earlier. What you can do is very simple. You just present the quanti data, and after presenting the quanti data, you present the quali in a narrative format and see whether there is convergence or divergence. Okay, here's an example in a paper I did. No, so for example here, desirable practices are also shown in the same table, where most of the participants reported that solid waste is disposed of through a disposal site. This is confirmed. This highlights the convergence. Okay. This is confirmed in the qualitative findings where several participants also mentioned that our barangay captains constructed an MRF where we are expected to dispose of our segregated waste from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. This suggests that the community residents will conform to the desired behavior when effective systems and structures are in place. Similarly, and so on. Nga na. So here, table ani sa taas. So, I presented the quantitative findings and then, ako din siyang gisuportahan confirmation with a qualitative finding. So, this is an example of a narrative discussion that you can do in your dissertation. Muning pinaka-often ginagamit kay pinakasayon because you don't have to visually represent your mixed methods. Okay, so here are more examples which you can look at your own time. Another way we can do another interpretation for mixed methods is using a JDT or a joint display table. No, so a joint display table looks like this, where we present both quanti and quali at the same time. Di na to ni tanawon kay libog. I'll give you another example. So here, This is a dissertation of my advisee, no? So here he presented the quantitative results. For example, for teachers' awareness on green chemistry. So yung ibutang dire that the teachers have moderately aware in green chemistry. And here, in the qualitative findings, he said that teachers report that there's a need in increasing green chemistry awareness. So this findings confirms this finding that they are only moderately aware and they need to increase their green chemistry awareness. So this is also what we can do. And this paper, the paper of my advisee was already accepted and published in a high impact journal, no? The Journal of Chemical Education with an impact factor of 2.5. No? You seldom find education papers published with an impact factor of 2.5. So pareha gyapon ani. Like here, he said that moderately knowledgeable ang teachers in terms of their content and their content. So they put sayang sub-theme 1, lack of conceptual understanding on green chemistry. Then nanan siya mga quotations from the participants. Okay? So that's how one way. Kani, this is from a project I did which was funded by the UN, the USAID, no? So we look at how the internal motivation of clients, no, those undergoing drug rehabilitation, we saw that they have very high uh, internal motivation. When we did qualitative design, when we did qualitative exploration, they reported that they have a high sense of pride. They have their personal goal of improving their image and faith as a intrinsic motivator. So this supports these findings. Okay? But this result is also already published in a Clarivate journal and in a policy brief published by the United Nations. No? Here, another by my advisee also, a master's advisee. So he look at so muna yung quantitative nga findings niya that students reported to a very high collaborative creativity. And then this was also confirmed by their verbatim answers in the focus group discussion. Like here, my classmates in my group trust each other. So here na yun, there is no time for anger and pride in terms of disagreement. Since we are given freedom to choose our group mates, I chose the group mates that I know I can work with. So this supports these findings. Diba? So it's no longer katabi ng typical table that you see in a thesis or dissertation. Yun. It's just the mean and the standard deviation. It does not tell you anything. Diba? You agree? Will your paper be much better if you present your data like this? Yes. Ako na.
Excuse me, Sir Jello.
Yes, sir.
Jello, kay pangutan na, sir.
Go.
Yes, sir.
Dabi, sir, kay ni-confirm ni siya, sir, sa APA format, sir, of presenting the tables. Kay, di ba, sa APA format, kay namagid nga, you write the title in the rows, the columns, even the text, even the whatsoever, even the name of the table.
Gipang cap
Ni-confirm
lang
po
mo,
di siya,
sorry.
sir, naapo di siya.
Gipang screen cap ram ko na ko ni.
Okay, sir.
Cap lang ako ni. So, these are, actually, these conform to the format of the journal. Kung imo pud na siyang ibutang sa imong dissertation, dapat naka-APA format. So kanina ni table heading na putol lang pag screen cap nako kaganina.
Okay, sir. Sige, salamat, sir.
Oo. Sige, Ma'am Jewel, Jewel ba to? Si Ma'am Jody speaking earlier?
Ako, sir. Nag-agree
Yes,
lang ko, sir, sa kato yung hindi ko ano.
Yeah.
Yung, sir.
But this Sige, this presents our data in a much meaningful and more insightful, no? Sige. Here's another, no, this is taken from the textbook. So, for example, you have several variables. You can present it, their means in a box whisker plot diagram, no? Or a plot. So, muning mean, then muning imong first STD, range. Range din, no? Sorry. The standard deviation, then muning range. Tama? Nalimot na ko. Sa box whisker plot. So, here, kita ni mo mga means there. And then, yung gi-color code ang plot, then yan ang gibutang dire ang mga convergence or diverging statements. And it's an interesting diagram that you can use in your dissertation. And from here, you can immediately identify, they have relating to others. So, meron sa may lang giingon ana diri, naray quality nga findings. Then you see dayon convergence and divergence in your quantity and quality result. Okay? So, yeah. For when doing interpretation, here are some questions you have to answer for your convergent. So, is there similarities or differences in the findings? And if similarities, explain using the literature. If no, why? And that again, very simple. Okay, now we go to explanatory. So, ito mention ko ganina, the goal of your explanatory is the quantity will help you identify whom to quali. Dili pwede masingkin sa imong gi-quali. The quali should come from the findings from the quantity. Because if not, then that's not a mixed method study. Okay? Sige. What you do is you analyze the quantity first and then determine the purposeful sample that can best provide explanation. So this purposeful sample comes from your quantity result. Again, the purposeful sampling, the criteria that you will use to select the whom to quali should come from the quantity result. Okay? Tara, design quality data collection procedures, identify the questions to be answered by the purposeful sample, and then use a graph. So here are some things you can do. Select participants who are typical or representative of different groups for the follow-up to understand how groups differ. Like for example, you wanted to compare high-performing and low-performing students. So, imo sa silang i-group based on their performance, and then from the performance, mamili ka dito high performance, then from the low performance, mamili na po ka dito. Or you can select extreme levels. Only interested to the top performing student and the bottom performing student. Mo to yung interview. So, select participants from groups who differ in their statistical result. Select participants who differ in their scores and significant predictors and so on. Because this will help you explain the variables you wanted to explain in your dissertation. Next, yeah, here's an example. So here, he did quantitative study first, identifying the preparation, PTE, and GTE. And from that, yading na-sort ang students. And from that, yading niya identify kinsa iyang i-quali. So this will lead the researcher to show, this provides the researcher an opportunity to show how the quantitative component is linked to the qualitative component. Here's another example, although pang mixed methods experimental ni, kay experiment man but pwede kaya po natin magamiton sa explanatory sequential because the experiment is a quantity component, di ba? So kani what my advisee did, di na ni siya karon, no? What he did was looking at comparing experiential games versus supplemental games. So itanaw niya ang kaning critical thinking na siya three ka variables, AR, UFA, and ES. And he saw that there was significant improvement in the argumentative reasoning of the students. And what could be the explanation? So he used students' experiences as an explanation for this improvement in the pre-test and the post-test. The same with this, no? Pre-test and post-test. So kaniyang gigamit niya mga explanation. Is it a better way of presenting your result? Yes. Ako na lang mag-yes. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So, thank you, Ma'am Prince, for the support. Sige. Yeah, show the link between the two connected database, help visualize how the quali findings enhance the understanding of the quantity results. So, ano yun ang pinaka-keyword na to? Your quali finding should enhance our understanding of our quantity results. Can you create a statistics by theme joint display? May example ka ganina, no? So, nagkuhan siya ni ANCOVA. Paired t-test, I think. Paired t-test to see the differences. Naputol lang ng table, kataas mo nga table. So here's another example of an explanatory table. You can group the students, for example, low score and high score, Then unsa ilang mga potential explanation. Okay? Sige. Okay. The goal is of this design is to provide ato na lang gibrikwali kaganina. Sige. Next is exploratory. So the goal of exploratory is you do quali because you wanted to build features for your quanti. Right? So kani inyong mga questions, inyong goal when you're doing exploratory sequential design, how can the personal experiences in the given context help design an instrument that is sensitive to their culture? Or how can personal experiences design experimental activities? So, pareha gyapon, you analyze what you begin with quali first, you analyze your quali, and then the quali should help you identify the variables that you will include in your quanti. So, yeah, then you design a joint display illustration so that it will convey the link between the themes, codes, and specific elements of the quanti features. Okay, let's take a look at an example. So here, for example, so muna yung variables, muna yung giquali, muna yung mga themes, then he was able to identify what are to be revised in the methodology for it to be contextualized. So muna yun ang result. There is cultural tailoring for the development of workbooks and so on. I remember I had one student in PhD, although wala niya gidayon yung plano, she was interested during the pandemic on how to design an online laboratory class that addresses the challenges of having it online. So, yung initial plano adto kay pag-interview sa mga estudyante, identify din siya sa mga features, mga components in an online laboratory class. And then, from that, yan itong gamiton to develop the laboratory class as well as generate an instrument to evaluate that laboratory class. So, ang quali adto, katong pag-identify sa mga factors, na naihada yung quanti nga component adto is the development of the intervention, which is the online laboratory class. Second is the development of the measuring tool to evaluate whether the online laboratory class was working according to the definition of the students. Sabtan? So, imo lang din siyang i-arrow-arrow. How were these qualitative themes used to design your quantitative measurements? Okay. Sige. Ang uban ilang ginabuhat is kung scale development, kung na mag-scale development din. So, quali, unsa itong mga themes. Then, unsa din ito imong EFA. Imong findings sa imong EFA. Then, unsa din ito mga questions, mga items that are representative of that theme. That shows how quali and quanti are linked. Sige, next. Yeah, like this. So these are the quali findings. And adri ang significance of these items. O mumaning items sa quanti. Okay? Sa experimental, parehara sa akong medyo ito kayong kaganina, it's similar to what my advisee did. So kani kita now if there's an increase and decrease in the music therapy, no, and music medicine, then sa din mga possible explanation for these findings. Okay? Participatory social justice design. So, pareha rin gyapon mga joint display table or gini sila tanan. Like here, this shows the Likert scale of the 1 to 5. Yan yung i-plot ang mga variables kung asa ang mean. And then added dayon the social justice lens. Feminism man kay this is about mother and daughter, no? A relationship. So, mo din ang mga sa tawag ani, mga themes from the quali that advances the social justice lens. So, excited na ba si Sir Sandy, si Ma'am Hazel sa ilang pagsulat sa ilang results?
Yes,
Or
sir.
murag na-stress na ganiyon di ay. So, here's another example. No? So, yang i-convert into kanang quantitative percent text references of the quali and then kani din ang quanti din nga result. So kani these are quali findings and kani ang iyang quanti findings. Okay, this was about katong the marginalized group, which are those that have received donor or organ donors and so on. And kani mixed methods evaluation design, it's just a saksak sinagol of all kinds of design. Ang pinaka-importante lang yun ani is that you have to ensure that there are sequential integrated analysis in the program. Sequential meaning one phase of the project leads to another phase and leads to another phase. Okay? Nakoy advice katong pinakauna na akong gihatag nga example kagani na katong green chemistry, he did something like this. Oo, bago na siya nag-defense. Okay. So, ngani, sa mani, showing qualitative process evaluation and quantitative effect evaluation. So, here, qualitative process. So, what were the themes for evaluating the process according to this area? So, muna yung mga findings sa quali. Gipresent lang din niya ang effect sa quanti. So, there was no effect for strong and close in terms of the prevention project. For the effect on influence on prevention project, only the summative daw, wala labot si formative and so on. Okay? Okay, now we go to the validity questions we have to ask ourselves when doing mixed methods study. So we begin with, I mentioned this earlier, for design quality, were the given questions asked in the study, the research questions, are they suitable to the design? Is it consistent across all aspects of the study? Explanatory imong research question, did they use a method that was explanatory? And when you look at your findings, was it really an explanatory? And then similarly for interpretive rigor, this refers to how your findings are consistent with the theory. And if it's not consistent, then explain. Okay, let's now take a look at the questions we have to ask ourselves per design. So if you're using a convergent design, here are the threats you have to address. Number one, not using parallel concepts. So if you're measuring this variable for the quantity, dapat most of the variable imo i-measure sa quali so that you can see whether there is convergence or divergence. Because if you're measuring two different things, then you cannot see convergence or divergence. That would be pointless. Okay? Next is having an equal quantitative and qualitative sample sizes. Although this is very difficult to achieve in a convergent study, okay, definitely gamay ram dito imong quali. Or kung dagano imong quali, lisod kaayo mag-analyze. You just have to ensure that when the sample sizes are not the same, you have to justify why and acknowledge the limitations of the design. Next is you are not mixing the result. You're not mixing the quantity and quality. Then why do mixed methods? Next is failing to explain the disconfirming results. If you have kanang katukoy ko ganina, divergence of results, how do you explain it? And if you cannot explain it, then it's pointless at all. For explanatory, remember, the goal of explanatory is to identify which quantitative results to explain. So you have to ensure, nakabalo ka, unsa imong i-identify. Next is not explaining it. Ibo nang na-identify unsa to imong gusto explain, but you are not explaining it. You're not using your quali to explain your findings. And then next, not connecting the initial. Yung kanina, nag-quanti ka, explanatory kunuhay. So, you measured kato achievement of the students and so on, or the effect of the intervention. Paabuti mo sa quali, masigin sa naman imong gipangutana. And you did not justify why kato sila ang imong mga gipangutana. So that again poses a validity question in your design. Next is exploratory sequential. So not building your quantitative features based on your qualitative results. So very importantly, the quantitative should come from the qualitative. And when developing instrument, you're not following rigorous procedure. So when you develop items, it must follow katong mga item development procedures. Measuring the psychometric properties, measuring the phase, content, and construct validity of the items for pilot testing, and so on. Then selecting participants for the quantitative tests that are same individuals as the qualitative sample. That's a problem of validity because you wanted to use your qualitative findings to generalize to a larger sample. So dapat mas dako og lahi imong sample sa imong quanti. For for experimental design, uh, you're not addressing the challenges in doing an experiment, no? Kinalan kabalo ka which variables to control, which variables to add to what you call this to differentiate so that you'll see if there's an effect or not. And you're also not identifying when to do the quali. Are you doing it before, during, or after the experiment? And you have to explain why. And then you are not introducing bias. I think I mentioned this in our previous lecture that when we do when we collect qualitative before and during an experiment, that introduces quote unquote sampling bias to our data collection bias to our participants. Like nangutana na ka about, sige, unsa man ninyo na-experience nga mga challenges sa inyong team pag himo ninyo ani nga activity. So, ang mga bata din makabalo ka, hala, teamwork din ang pangutanon ni ang gusto makita ni ma'am ug sir. So they will modify their behavior based from your initial interaction with them. So that paabot din nimo sa imong observation, biased na, polluted na imong data. So you have to identify data collection techniques if during or before that is not kanang obtrusive to your sampling. Then next, for social justice design, for case study design, you are not defining the case adequately, so you have to clearly identify what makes up a case. And this case should come from quantity and quality results. Dili pwede isa lang. Dapat both quantity and quality are used to define a case. Okay, mixed methods man ta. And then yeah, you're not identifying the core design that you're using. And then when you have multiple cases developed in your study, you're not comparing them. Social justice, dapat klaro unsa nga theory imong gamiton. You are not you must be able to identify what actions should be made at the end of the research because it's a participatory design, a social justice design, and then you are marginalizing the participants in the project. So dapat the end of the project should help improve the lives of your participants. And I think that ends unless you have question. So this paper is very related to the last part of your concept paper, which is your data collection techniques. So here, in this paper, you must be able to identify already what your plans are on how to analyze your data. Kung na kayo mga plano, ana, para sa'yo na lang din paabot sa inyong concept defense. Yes, Sir Mark.
Sir, doon ko sir.
Medyo hinay mong audio, sir.
Sir, ako lang concern sir ba sa pagkuha sa sample size sir ba? My concern is not about ang gamay ra mo gud akong concern possible respondents less than 100, and I think I'll be using regression ba or path analysis sir. So kailangan ba ko mag-sample sir or census akong gamiton sir? Sila tanan akong
Mas maayo kung gamay ra imong sample, complete enumeration or kanang census, if you ask me.
Okay, sige. So no more concern discussion on sample size.
You discuss lang why you're using complete enumeration.
Yes.
Oh. Yes,
And
sir.
then my follow-up
Sorry.
question, sir. My next concern, sir, is for path analysis, sir. Kailangan mo share requirements, sir, no, for the sample size 200 plus. So, mo qualify to akong ito yung suggestion, sir, nga bootstrapping.
Tana lang ta sa panel, ana sir, di lang sa ako mag-final kay hindi ko kabalo sa standard sa Department of Math Ed kung sugot sila mag-bootstrap or they will require you to go to another nearby city college.
Bigger population,
Oo, a similar population. So ato lang nang i-present sa panel during the concept nga nakay nga nga dilemma so that they can advise. Usay di pud sila kabantay. So maayo imo na lang unhan.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sige. But I think naami candidate sa una, si Pasko, murag nag-bootstrapping to, di lang ko sure if nadayon, nalimot ako. But i-present lang sa panel ko. Masugot ang panel nga mag-bootstrap. Then, okay. Yes, Sir Lester. Sir Lester. Wala si Sir Lester, di man gatingog. Kinsa man ang isa
Sir,
gali.
sir,
Oh, sorry.
sir, nawala kong kwan, sir, ang data from kwan, sir. Sir, kanang, thank you so much, sir. Sir, about sa skill development mo, good sir, ba? Kay ang iya mong require sa about sa sample size, kaya po sir, collecting about sa sample size, sir. Kaya ang required mo is at least a minimum of, minimum of kalimot ko sa 10 to 15 participants per indicator nga mabuhat kintahay sir. Then kung naay goal to come up with 30 plus indicators depende gyapon sa qualitative nga mga results sir. Depende man gyapon siya. Sir, mo require siya og mga 300 to 400 sir. Then I don't know lang sir kay kung limited ang sample size namon ko gi-suggest sir from the study of Worthington and Whitaker sir nga pwede lang split into two groups
Pwede.
para ang one group.
May mga ingana.
Yes sir.
So, akong suggestion lang is when you discuss your data gathering procedures, you justify lang. Actually, dili man ta stricto. Ang gapangitahon gid sa panel is your justification why you're doing that. Ano ba?
Yes
For
sir.
example, if you can find it, there's a paper when you're doing the SEM, there's what he calls as absolute 100. Because when he compared having 100 sample size and 1,000 ba to, nakita niya, parera ang findings. O, mo itong nag siya nga, pwede ra daw, 100. O, so, tanawon lang, inyo lang yung i-justify. Hantod sa
Yes
makonvince
sir.
ang panel, gano'n ka na inyong gibuhat.
Okay, thank you guys sir.
Na yung mga ingana, nakasakto ka na yung uban nga times 10 sa variables. Kung pila ka mong imong variables na identify times 10, na yung mga ingana. So, depende lang kung sa inyong gigamit nga reference. Ma'am Jody, yes.
Ay, okay na sa ang isang concern sir kay same kay Sir Lester. Ang ako pa concern sir kay katong sa ako ang paper 3 sir. Nakasubmit ko tong una pero kato siya is katong first nga topic nga akong gi-propose which
okay na.
is mali. Unsaon pag kuan to sir delete na siya ma-delete sir.
I-email lang.
Ay, email. Sige, sir.
Mag-email lang mo
Salamat,
sa ako.
sir.
Sige.
Sige,
Napa mo
sir.
ilahin concern?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Judy. Sige, kato mga nag-submit ng concept paper via USTEP, please email it to me para ma-action na ako diretso. Ha? Maka-comment din ko diretso. Kabalo silang Sir Mark o Sir Lester. Once I receive it, basta di lang ko busy, ako nang basahon diretso.
So, excuse me sir, kanang
Yes, sir.
naalala tayo, depende lang sir kung makasubmit tanan sir, ahead and mag, ano sir, for defense?
Dili, nagkuha na si Sir Mark, ako nang gi-endorse for scheduling. Si Sir Lester, ako na
I was thinking requirement siya, sir, dili siya requirement sa subject sir nga we have to defend para makapas grado
Requirement.
no?
Ang requirement
Oh, okay.
actually is to be able to come up with a concept paper and present it. Ang problem lang is we cannot present it on December kay puno ng schedule sa December kay ihurot ni Ma'am Lai sa mga masters nga students. So, moto nananghid na lang ko sa inyong chairman nga I will grade you based on your concept paper. Dayon, dito na lang din ang concept paper defense sometime in January. But magrado na ko kaya deadline sa grado January 3 man. Oo.
Okay sir, thank you sir. So the deadline sa ano sir, sa mahangyo pa sir nga next week pa mapasa sir next
Before
Saturday ang
January
concept paper
3.
sir, pwede pa.
Before January 3.
Sige sir,
Oo.
mga December 14 pa ni kamot sir kay.
Sige.
Murag daghan kay nausab sir sa akong gipambasa sa imong gipangsulti, murag daghan kay nausab Ginoo ko.
Sige. Ma'am Prince, go ahead. Unsa man?
Ay, muna to siya, sir. Clarify lang po nako itong mga submission sa paper, sir. No? Paper
Pwede
6
naman
naman
mag-email.
ang answer na tapos. Okay, sir. Salamat kayo,
Pwede
sir.
ra ninyo i-email.
Thank you, sir.
Yan, pinaka-importante gid ang concept paper para ma-schedule na. Og maka-comment na sad ko. Taman sa kung kaya ma-comment, no?
Okay, salamat kayo, sir.
Thank you. Wala na ilang pangutana. Yes, Sir Elnor.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sa concept paper sir basta last part katong sa major activities
Activities
involved,
involved.
dito na may butang ang data gathering procedure,
Yes.
ang mga proposed. Kay medyo kuan ko siya bird's eye view ra ang naasa ko so.
Oo,
Yeah,
pwede
thank
ninyo
you, sir.
batangan og more details. Sana. Depende sa inyo. The more, may gitawag nila nga, the devil is in the details. The more detailed you are, the panel will see it nga. Naganda, gid mo. Eh, kasabot gid mo sa rigor sa inyong gapang buhaton. Oo. Eh, kung inyo lang gibutangan nito, magkwantiko, magkwalik ko, di ba? Dili sa kung mobilib nga, kasabot mo sa sayang gabuhaton. Mag-survey ko, pag man survey, mag-interview ko, mana. Oh. Hindi ko ninyo ma-convince, di ba? Sige. I sent again the link for the YouTube video ko takong gingon about publication, publishing